Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with a 2023 Chevrolet Colorado. This in particular is the Trail Boss Edition. There are, I think, 5 trim levels for this. Trail Boss is right about in the middle. It's the first of 2 off-road packages for this. There's one engine for this truck, a 2.7 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that puts out 3 different levels of output depending on which package you're getting. In this particular one, it is at the lowest, and then there's one above that, and then the topmost, which is only found in the ZR2, which is the topmost package for this, and is the other off-road package. I'll put all the horsepowers on the screen and all that other good stuff because I'm not good at memorizing that. So anyway, this is the Everyman's, the affordable off-road package for this, and it is pretty good. I'll show you some footage throughout this of myself and my daughter Heidi bouncing around doing some cool stuff, or you know, looks cool on camera stuff, I guess. And a couple places where when we were up here the last time, we took a Can-Am Commander, which I'll link to that video because that was fun. Anyway, yeah. So let's talk about this. We'll start out with design. We'll talk a little bit about the working end back there. I'll talk about the interior a little bit, and I'll wrap it up by telling you how clinky sounding the engine is. All right, let's go. As far as design goes, this is pretty basic Chevrolet. Most of the Chevy trucks have the same thing. They're sort of blocky, but they've moved away from that just straight up squares sticking out of the vehicle, and they've rounded them a lot. So you can see the headlights come around much more than they used to. You can also see that while it is a square edge here, they've rounded this part and rounded this so it moves up a little bit. What that does is it de-accentuates that giant block sticking out at you, while keeping that big fender. So if you have this huge drop off right here instead of a steady one like you would on, say, a car or SUV, and then this sticking out, makes a big beefy fender. Same thing is happening all the way in the back. You can see the fender sticks out quite pronounced because this is pretty straight up and down, and that accentuates how far out this is sticking. And that's the muscle. That's where you're getting the visual muscle in this car. Truck, whatever. And then you have the belt line, which is an interesting one because it's created by this big box right here. So the belt line's running across here, right? But it's actually made by this box right here, which is I don't know what you call that shape. It's elongated on the top, but not on the bottom. There's a name for that. Anyway, so that's an interesting design element. And then, of course, you have the usual, which you'll see on most pickup trucks now, where it pinches up in the back. That creates the forward movement, a little bit of speed, and allows the cabin to look pinched like this without changing the roof line, so there's still headroom in the back. Pretty smart setup, really good look. I like the look of it a lot. I wish it had proper rocker bars across the bottom. That would be the first thing I would add to this, because with the off-road we were doing today, which is relatively light off-road, light, maybe some medium duty, I was really worried about things coming up and impacting. If you had those rock rails across there, I would worry a whole lot less about it. That would be the first add-on I would do to a truck like this. Otherwise, bumpers are good. You could get more protection if you wanted, front and rear. But honestly, if you're smashing things front and rear, you're really not paying attention while you're off-roading. You really should be slowing down and paying attention. Back here, this is the usual Chevy step integrated into the bumper. And then you have this flat and very high. So out of all the mid-sized trucks, this is one of the hardest to reach into. I am 6'3". I can get my armpit over the top of this and do stuff. But if I was 6 foot or less, I would not be able to do that. I would have to climb up or stand on something or whatever. And that's terrible because this is supposed to be a mid-sized truck. It's supposed to be small, and it's not. All right, while I'm back here, we might as well talk about the working end. Okay, back here's the working end of the truck. If I didn't mention it before, by the way, we are in Vue de Vue, which is just west of Cheyenne, not quite as far as Laramie. It's a really awesome place, part of the Medicine Bow National Park. Anyway, down here you got your tow hitch. I don't know what the tow rating for this is offhand. It's pretty good though. I believe it's about 7,000 or 8,000 pounds. I'll put it on the screen. Over here are your plugs. So you got the 4 there and the bigger one there. For if you had, there is an integrated trailer brake control in this. Comes standard, as far as I know, which is awesome. Yeah, and then the usual bumper. I don't need to talk about that. So tailgate, soft open, which is great because a couple of companies like Ford don't do that. Ford, say it again, Ford doesn't do that. Ford really should be doing that, Ford, but you're not. Chevy is. Kind of a cool thing. I have no idea what it's for, but if you take these little locks, I'll show you a picture of them. You pull these little locks and open this up, and there's like this little storage area in here. Now there's some kind of screw receiver in there. I have no idea what it's for. There's probably some sort of accessories that go in here that I'm not privy to or haven't looked up on the website because, you know, I haven't done my research. A lot of you will tell me that because I get that in every video. So yeah, didn't do my research, have no clue what this little storage space is for. I'll take a picture of that too. But pretty neat. We've been using it to store rocks because we collect rocks. Don't judge. All right, working end. You can see pretty good sized bed. So this is a standard bed. It's 5.5, I believe. I don't know the exact measurements. You can look them up or I'll put them on the screen. Anyway, you can tell me I don't know that and I should have done my research. But you can see the wheel wells do encroach. This is not 4 feet across. It's pretty damn close, but not quite. That I feel is an oversight. They really should have done that. This being the lower end package just has the standard 4 tie downs on each corner. You could add bed rails or whatever you want for better tie downs. I would probably do that. I do really like this spray in liner though. Great stuff. Always recommend that. Also the plastic caps come standard. I would also recommend you not take those off. I think that's the working end. All right, let's look at the inside for a minute and then I'll complain about the engine. All right, this is me at 6'3", embarrassing myself climbing into this truck. Actually, I wasn't that bad. Honest, I sat back here one other time in this truck just to see what it felt like, and I'm kind of surprised at how much room there is. With the hat on, I've still got that much headroom, so that's more than an inch. I've got leg room, even though this is set for me at 6'3". I've got pretty decent bolstering, but not great. I would not want to ride back here for very long. There's no adjustment to the back of the seat. My feet can't go any further under there, so I'm always going to have this thigh gap. Just kind of, yeah, I wouldn't want to hang out back here for too long. I'm glad it's just my teenagers having to do that. But nice setup back here. You got a drink holder in the door. You got 2 up here. You got a phone holder right in the middle of those. Drink holder in that door. Vents back here for the climate. And there's no plugs. I think you have to go up in packages or add something to get that. But way more roomy and a lot more comfortable than I would have expected. There is supposed to be space under the seats for storage. Don't count on using it for much. Mostly it is the tire jack and the tire retrieval to lower it down, the full-size spare, and a few it's a lot of tools. There is not a whole lot of space for your stuff under there. We were able to get a pair of my wife's boots under there for hiking out here. That's it. So yeah, don't get too excited having a lot of under-seat storage. This is not a full-size truck. Okay, this is the driver's seat. Nicely laid out, interesting layout in some ways. I'll point some of those out, but comfortable and easy to drive. I really like the seating up front. Very good seating up here. Decent amount of storage for the size of the truck. You got a drink holder there, you got 2 in the middle plus that phone thing I talked about. Another drink holder over there. You got a spot to drop your phone down here that's rubberized so it's not gonna go flying around. You got a pretty good sized screen right here. One big annoyance with that is that it deletes a whole bunch of the buttons, but you still have a physical volume control. You still have all your climate controls as physical buttons. Pretty plain Jane, how did I say? Plain Jane, yeah, that's what I meant. Pretty plain Jane on the Climate. This is old school. You set, you know, hot or cold or whatever, and then you decide how high you want the fan to be, and that's pretty much it. It's not like newfangled stuff where you just set a temperature and go. Another thing I noticed, there is no way that I can find to control the headlights other than the brights on the stick. So the headlights are pretty much always on, and you have no control over that. There's no buttons, no anything for changing that. Integrated trailer brake I talked about before, that's right here. You have your dimmer switch right here, hood opening down there, and then you have a couple of USBs. One's a USB-C and one is a USB-A, and that's pretty much it. That's all the accoutrement you get with a truck like this. Yeah, that's it for the interior. Let's wrap this up. All right, that's the 2023 Chevrolet Colorado in the Trail Boss Edition. My biggest complaint about this truck, I like most everything about it because of the price tag. If I was paying more money, I would be very bent that I didn't get more stuff. But for the amount of money spent on this, it's pretty good. My biggest complaint is this engine. It's a little 2.7 liter turbo, and it doesn't struggle. It will do anything you want. It's had no problem, even with a full load of people in there and stuff, going up and down hills. We haven't had any of those issues. My biggest issue with it is a clackety-clack loud thing. It makes not good sounding noises. It's like a 90s Volvo. It's just like all the time. I'll try to get audio of that, but really, it's terrible. The transmission is great. Shifting is really good. The whole thing runs really, really well. It has no problems doing stuff. It just sounds like garbage. It's bad. That's it. That's my biggest complaint about this whole thing. Other than that, I really like this truck. So that's what I got. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.